This is CBC Here and Now.
City staff think they're running the show, and I think they have to be told otherwise.
An unhappy Danny Williams outside court today.
It's a disappointment, and I'm embarrassed by the federal government.
The feds won't participate in the Innu Children in Care inquiry.
And I've been to communities where you will find grandmothers who have lost 10 children to AIDS.
From Newfoundland to Southern Africa, connecting grandmothers one word at a time.
Another frosty start for most on Friday, but it's the calm before the next system, which brings rain, wind, and yes, snow into the mix through the day and into your weekend.
We start tonight with news that will affect every taxpayer in the province. The government and its largest union are close to a deal.
After more than a year of at times contentious bargaining and just 2 days after a dire fiscal update, the province and NAPE say they have a tentative framework.
So what exactly does having a framework mean when it comes to collective bargaining? Here's the head of NAPE.
The way I can put it that people understand is we still have some I's to dot and T's to cross, and that's where we are. And then the negotiating teams, all 16, will sit down and look at, based on what they have, along with some of the core issues, would bridge all the bargaining units and make a determination then where they stand on it.
And we'll have much more on this in the coming days,
including the impact it could have on the provincial coffers as well as your wallets.
Well, disappointed and embarrassed, that is the message from the Innu Nation now that the federal government confirmed it will not participate in the Children in Care inquiry. They'll give it $250,000, but they won't have anyone at the table. Here now's Jacob Barker has our story.
We are facing a humanitarian crisis in this country where Indigenous children are vastly, disproportionately overrepresented in the child welfare system.
Strong words from Indigenous Services Minister Jane Philpott last month, and it's this comment that has Innu Nation leaders befuddled.
You know, when the federal minister makes that comment, and makes you wonder why do you want to make that comment if you're not going to participate? So I think it's kind of mixed messages. You know, with the concern they have, they should be involved in the inquiry, and it's a disappointment, and I'm embarrassed by the federal government to take that approach.
I want my son back!
Earlier this year, former Innu Deputy Grand Chief Simeon Jackapush pushed for the inquiry after his son Thunderheart died by suicide. He took his message directly to the provincial and federal governments. The province agreed, and the inquiry was supposed to begin at the end of September. Indigenous and Northern Affairs Minister Carolyn Bennett indicated that the federal government would take part, but she never said how.
I want to know what's going on. I need some answers because I lost my son over their system.
The federal government now says it is a provincially constituted inquiry, and it will give $250,000 to support activities related to child and family services that would inform the inquiry's work. But the money isn't enough for the Grand Chief.
When we have kids out in the community, outside the community, up in Newfoundland area and also across Canada, they come back with different behaviors and different attitudes, and that kind of difference leads to abuse of alcohol, drugs, and gas sniffing. And I think it's important that the government needs to know that, and they need to hear what the leadership is saying, and especially from the parents. They need to hear what the parents have to say. They have to be in that inquiry because, you know, the amounts of money they're pouring into this department, they need to know what's happening in both communities.
The provincial government and the Innu Nation say that the inquiry will go ahead regardless, but the Innu Nation is asking that the federal government reconsider its decision not to take part. Jacob Barker, CBC News, Happy Valley Goose Bay.
The jury at the Brandon Phillips murder trial spent the day looking at some of the physical evidence in the case, including the gun the police say was used to shoot Larry Wellman. Here now's Fred Hutton is covering the trial, and he's live in the studio this evening with the latest developments.
Well, Anthony, 3 members of the RNC, including Constable Pamela Pike of the Forensic Identification Unit, spent the day explaining some of the evidence that was gathered at and near the crime scene and from a home on Kitty Vitty Road. Constable Pike was first asked to make sure the sawed-off 12-gauge shotgun was disabled. And for that, she brought the weapon to the location in the lockup in the basement of the court. After that, Mark Harima, the Crown Prosecutor, passed the gun to a sheriff's officer who then held it up for the jury to see. The gun remained in a plastic evidence bag, as did a shotgun shell and a pair of Air Jordan sneakers that were also entered as evidence. Now, the jury today also looked at this blue hat that was found in front of a home on Forest Avenue, just behind the Captain's Quarters Hotel. You can see in this picture the hat has 2 man-made holes. In his opening statement, Harima said the jury would hear that gunshot residue was found on the outside of the hat and that Brandon Phillips' DNA was on the inside. Under cross-examination, Jeff Brace asked the officer who found the hat that if she had been in the captain's quarters prior to retrieving that evidence. He asked if it was possible for gunshot residue to be in the air at the hotel. She agreed it was possible. Brace then asked what precautions were taken when the hat was recovered, if she wore one of those white suits like you see on TV. Officer Pike said no, but said the officer who did remove the hat wore gloves and took all the measures normally used when gathering evidence. Now, things got a little bit heated as well. Brace also questioned the officer why investigators only seized one and not both of the tables Larry Wellman was seen holding in the video when he confronted the suspect. Pike said the small table didn't appear to be damaged and there was no blood on it. Now, tomorrow we're going to hear much more about gunshot residue. An expert in the field, Nigel Hearns from the RCMP's crime lab in Ottawa, will be on the stand. Debbie?
Fred Hutton reporting for us live this evening. Thank you. Well, the province has introduced legislation to create a serious incident response team. It will investigate the behavior of police following a serious incident. It will cost about $800,000 a year. The team's director will be civilian. He or she cannot have served as a police officer. The team will be able to investigate behavior on or off duty when there's a death, serious injury, sexual offense, domestic violence, or anything else of public interest. It will take 6 to 8 months to set up, but there's been no decision about whether this province will partner with Nova Scotia or have its own team.
I'm happy to do that to see if it will allow efficiencies in cost and efficiencies in improving investigations. But this legislation will allow us to do a model that's either Newfoundland and Labrador, regional, bilateral in terms of whether it's just us and Nova Scotia. It allows for any arrangement that we think is best.
And now to a story that CBC first brought to you last month. A group of inmates have been charged with assaulting Al Potter. Sources tell Here and Now that they call themselves the Kings of Chaos. Here and Now's Ariana Kellen broke this story and she joins us now live. Ariana, what's the latest on this?
Well, this case was called in provincial court today, but these 6 inmates were actually charged earlier this month with assault causing bodily harm to Al Potter. Now, Potter himself is facing first-degree murder charges in the 2014 death of Dale Porter. He's also a known member of the Vikings Motorcycle Club, which according to police is an affiliate of the Hells Angels. So let's take a look at some of the people who are charged. The first is 26-year-old Calvin Kenny, not a new face or name. Kenny is awaiting sentencing on manslaughter charges in the robbery, abduction, and killing of Stephen Miller in July 2016. Then there's 33-year-old Gary Hennessy. He's going to trial on Monday for a violent home invasion in Paradise that captivated the public's attention last February when one of the accused men turned up dead. His death was not suspicious. Hennessy is also accused in a St. John's break-in where 2 dogs were shot and 1 was killed. Then there's Ronald Jason Fitzgerald. He's an HMP serving a sentence for this armed robbery at Davana's Jewelry at the Avalon Mall last March. Robert White, Doug Yetman, Abukin Abdefata, and are also charged in this case. Now, this alleged attack happened at the penitentiary on September 20th, but Potter's injuries were not discovered until the next day. We still do not know the reason behind this alleged attack, but the case will be back in court on December 4th. Reporting live for Here Now, I'm Ariana Kelland in St. John's.
All right, going to take a look now at what happened with the weather. I have to confess something, Ryan. Today was the first real day of ice on the old windshield.
Yeah, I've already had to scrape, so different elevation of the city.
That's right, yeah. Different little pockets, and a chance again for tomorrow morning, especially here in the metro region. A very frosty start for central Newfoundland this morning. I guarantee you, whatever frost, that's the word. Those F words, they're hard to spit out live on camera. You have to make sure you've got the right one, especially when you're talking about frost. And we are talking about, this is the scene in central parts of Newfoundland this morning in the Halls Bay area. And yes, lots of white. And look at some of these overnight lows and morning temperatures. -7 in Gander, -17 in Badger. That is cold in that low-lying area in Badger that often really drops off. That's what we had through this morning. -1 in St. John's. And yeah, as we roll through tonight in through tomorrow morning, we are once again talking about some clear skies and the setup for some pretty chilly temperatures. And yes, the risk of seeing some frost once again. But our next low is slowly but surely going to be working in as we move through tomorrow. We've got some increasing clouds through the overnight tonight across the western half of the island. I think we will still see some clear breaks for the Avalon up towards the northeast coast for tomorrow morning. Cloudy from pretty much start to finish central back towards west. And there's that rain, even some freezing rain possible into the afternoon time. So keeping that in mind for the Corner Brook region towards the Humber Valley, central parts of Newfoundland, I think temperatures are going to be warm enough that this is just rain. But the higher elevations for the northwest part of the island, and especially into Labrador, talking about the possibility of some accumulating snow. When we will address that with your full forecast details, we'll walk you right through the next 3 days, coming up in just a few minutes. Debbie?
Thanks, Ryan. From mayor to hopeful MP, Terrence Rogers has won the nomination to be the Liberal Party's official candidate in the Bonavista-Burin Trinity by-election. Rogers was one of 5 men seeking the nomination to run in the seat vacated by Judy Foote. He is currently the mayor of the amalgamated community of Centerville-Wareham Trinity.
Well, Salvation Army got a head start on the holiday spirit today with the launch of its annual Christmas Kettle campaign at the Avalon Mall in St. John's. Shoppers were treated to some unexpected Christmas carols and, of course, encouraged to drop some cash into that big red kettle. For more than 100 years, the campaign has raised funds to help people in need. St. John's was the home of the very first red kettle back in 1906.
After 3 years of delays, the City of St. John's has finally announced how it will address the aging water and sewer lines that run underneath Water Street. Here Now's Jeremy Eaton attended a technical briefing today and walks us through the 5-phase plan.
So the big dig is no more. After outrage from business owners, the City of St. John's went back to the drawing board to come up with a new plan. One that would allow them to upgrade the infrastructure here on Water Street, but also one that would have a minimal impact on businesses here in downtown St. John's. It's a 5-phase plan, one that starts between Queen Street and Bishop's Cove and then moves its way east. Crews will be using a new technique, trenchless technology, to get at what's underneath my feet, which is an old brick pipe. So basically, they're going to drag a sock liner through that existing pipe.
Once this CIPP liner is pulled into place and cured, then we go in with a robot and cut out the holes for the service laterals.
The City of St. John's didn't haul this technology out of thin air. It's being done all across Canada and even right here in the city. But downtown is different. See, there's lots of businesses here that rely on foot traffic. So council thinks this new approach will have a limited impact on businesses, which is why they wanted to start here.
What we hope from this phase is that we can, successfully upgrade the infrastructure that's there with continuous engagement with the stakeholders, and then do a debrief at the end of that and say, what did we learn from this that now we can apply to either reduce the impact even further in future phases and maybe even be a bit more efficient in doing so.
Lane says council is meeting with business owners and those impacted here on Water Street on a regular basis. Now, one of the upsides to this project is that intersections like this one will be made more accessible. Traffic lights will be given noise to help the visually impaired, and the curbs, well, they're going to be made more accessible to everyone. Now, if it all goes according to plan, work should begin down here in April of 2018. Jeremy Eaton, CBC News, St. John's.
Let's hope the City Council steps up here and takes some action on this.
Fighting words about his fight with City Hall.
I was in prison for attempted murders and bank robbery.
Along the way, I was diagnosed as schizophrenic.
I relapsed and went downtown, got on Paul drugs.
CBC NL steps inside the doors of the Wiseman Center, which provides temporary shelter, housing, support, and hope.
Well, our philosophy here that everyone's, first of all, persons. They're all people like you and I.
Join us for our half-hour documentary on November 22nd on CBC TV.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Danny Williams went to court today, and he wasn't happy when he left.
No, Williams is suing the City of St. John's over its delay in issuing permits related to his Galway development.
The matter was supposed to be heard in court on November 28th, but lawyers for the city requested more time.
And they got it. The matter is now set over until December the 19th, and that decision upset Williams and his lawyer.
We were seeking to have the matter heard on November 28th as scheduled. However, the city requested that the matter be adjourned based on the fact that they needed more time to prepare affidavits and to make filings. This is a significant matter that's at an impasse, as Mr. Williams will point out, and I felt that the city should be doing whatever they could to facilitate the hearing of this matter so that we could move on with it from a legal perspective.
We can't get any more permits. We've made requests for permits for houses out there. We want to get basements in the ground so we can have winter work going on out there. which would be a significant boost to the economy. But the irony is, this is an application to get access to the courts, and the city is denying my rights to go to court. And as well, we're also asking to get access to counsel. My understanding is counsel have been told make sure they don't talk to me because the matter is before the courts. And then the city lawyers come in here today and ask for a postponement of 3 weeks on an urgent matter, so further denying me access to the courts. And the ridiculous part of that is the city manager goes on a holiday, or he's out of town till the 27th. Now, the city manager was party to this for the last 2 months. There's a lot of correspondence for 3 months, correspondence going back and forth. They know all the issues. The issues here are very narrow issues. Actually, they have to be decided by a court. But so now they're delaying. So this is indicative of the way this city is behaving. The city manager leaves town, and they come down and they ask for a postponement. I would just hope the city council steps up here and takes some action on this. There's families that will be seeking occupancy permits. Today, no. There are families, however, that are seeking building permits to build houses in there so that they can get in as soon as possible. And of course, the big issue for us here is that, this winter's coming on. We're going to get snow. We're going to get frost in the ground pretty soon. We must have, I would guess, probably a dozen requests now for permits that we can't provide. Now, if someone can explain to me why the city of St. John's wants to do that and stop work in this economy is beyond me. And I'm not blaming the new city council, because the city council haven't addressed it because the city staff would not allow us to bring it to council. So hopefully they will consider it. But, city staff think they're running the show, and I think they have to be told otherwise. We have retail stores that want to start in there. We have pipes on the ground on the Costco site in there that are ready to go into the ground, and we want to get them in before winter because they're obviously hoping to open in the summer of next year. And we've got a residence that's on fire out there. The residential area is on bust. We've got a lot of interest. We've got hundreds of people going through there daily. And we've got contractors and builders who are looking to work out there. This is plumbers, electricians, carpenters, plasterers, roofers, heavy equipment operators. They're all being stopped by a city that doesn't want any economic progress. Unbelievable.
Certainly frustrated.
Yes, and Danny Williams is not the only person to complain about red tape at City Hall when it comes to these matters. So we'll be keeping our eyes on that story, you can be sure.
Yep, December 19th. See you in court. A look back at the industry that dramatically changed our province.
We've done it. We have first oil. Bravo.
a big Parsons Pond boil-up in part 2 of It's Worth the Drive. Sunday at 12:30 and Monday at 7.
This weather update is brought to you by the Take Charge Business Efficiency Program. Over 400 businesses have saved energy and taken charge of their bottom line. Find out how you can too.
Well, here is a shot sent to us by Tom Egan. Beautiful Bonavista.
Good golden colors there for this time of year, and some traditional paint colors in that house. What a nice shot. You can almost smell the autumn off the photo.
Yeah, nice wood there, ready to be burned this winter.
Yeah, beautiful.
I can smell the salt air. I used to visit there when I was growing up.
Nice place.
Lovely spot.
It's going to be a little of a, but actually before we get to the weather, we definitely have to show you some incredible but frightening video. And this comes to us from Greece, where people are struggling through deadly flooding.
Whoa, that's literally a river of mud.
Yes.
So what exactly happened as far as that? Destructive flash flooding apparently has left some people dead and triggered a declaration of 3 days of national mourning. This is huge.
Huge. 5 people are still listed as missing, and torrents of water from heavy rains again have been flooding this week.
Wow, the deluge ripped up roads, destroyed or damaged buildings, leaving many people homeless. Most of them are elderly. Some blamed officials for having allowed construction on the dried up riverbeds.
It's a massive devastation.
Yeah, there'll be weeks and months cleaning up there.
Absolutely.
Okay, closer to home now, and we're talking about the incoming system for us. Quiet start tomorrow, but things are going to pick up pretty quickly in terms of the weather and the wind, especially for the southwest coast. Have a look. These are where we have our special weather statements in effect. Basically, the northwest half of the island. We still have wind warnings in effect for Port aux Basques and that southwest coast, and a wreck house wind warning where we'll be seeing some gusts upwards of 120 kilometers per hour. The special weather statement is mainly for the wet snow we're going to be seeing, perhaps a little bit of freezing rain on the leading edge of this system, which is again still moving through Quebec, and the leading edge of the precip moving up through Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island this afternoon and into this evening. And that will then move into Newfoundland as we roll through the morning hours tomorrow. Already starting to see some flurries on the go in Labrador City, and this is how things will time out. So by the time we get to tomorrow morning, we are going to be seeing a couple of flurries in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Possibility of a few showers in through Port aux Basques, I think more so towards the 8-9 a.m. hour. Not sure it'll be there just in time for bus time, but it'll be close. We are looking at partly cloudy skies for most of the northeast coast, including the Avalon for tomorrow, even up into the Cartwright region. But those clouds will advance through the morning hours, and the winds will pick up a little bit as well. As we move through the Friday morning time period, I want to direct your attention here to these areas in pink. This is where we do have the possibility, including Corner Brook, of seeing a little bit of some patchy freezing rain before temperatures rise and we do change over to rain into the afternoon. Any of these blues here, especially for Friday afternoon, this is Gross Morin Mountain, higher elevation areas where we'll likely see some wet snow mixing in. The possibility of that extends over towards the Bayburt Peninsula as we move into the evening and overnight hours especially, and of course up the west coast and continues for the Humber Valley and around the higher elevations of Corner Brook. Could certainly see some wet snow, but it looks like more Gross Morin to Bayburt and north up towards the northern peninsula. You can see temperatures 5, 6, 7 degrees in the southeast tomorrow, a little bit cooler as you work your way towards the west. Should top out around 7 or 8 degrees in Port aux Basques tomorrow, and there's that flurry action working its way towards Nain. Light snow into the afternoon for Happy Valley Goose Bay with temperatures near the freezing mark, and there are those gusty winds in Port aux Basques. Now watch through your overnight or evening hours, I should say, by Saturday at midnight, Friday late evening. We are going to be seeing that rain moving into St. John's, I think, through the mid to late evening hours if you do have some Friday evening plans. By Saturday morning, we're looking at some lingering rain across the northeast coast, and then it's a taper off to some showers. And we are looking at that accumulating snow still on the go through southeastern parts of Labrador. Some wraparound drizzle still possible here across the island with temperatures in the 3, 4, 5 degree range, a little bit cooler along that west coast where we could see some wet flurries mixing in into the afternoon as winds do shift to north. And again, we're tapering off to flurries for you folks in Labrador. Not looking at much in the way of some snowfall. Could see 5 to as much as 10 centimeters for those higher elevation areas in those areas that I identified as the special weather statement. By Saturday evening, still some lingering drizzle here. into Sunday morning, the possibility remains for St. John's and that northeast coast, but I think generally it's just a cloudy start with more sun breaking through into the afternoon, but not for long as our next system will be approaching, and we could even see some late afternoon Sunday showers. Port aux Basques, late day up towards Corner Brook if you have some Sunday evening plans, but of course we'll keep you posted on that in the timeline over the next day or so. That's your forecast. We'll walk you through your 7-day coming up in a few minutes. Debbie?
Thank you, Ryan. Tomorrow marks a milestone in this province's offshore industry. 20 years since oil first started pumping on the Hibernia platform. Now 20 years on, and Hibernia has produced 1 billion barrels of oil.
And CBC News was there to celebrate what then Premier Brian Tobin called a sign of good things to come. So we decided to dip into our archives to bring you this report from Here and Now's Deanne Fleet.
They wanted to send a big message. At 1:40 this afternoon, Hibernia turned a milestone. It started pumping oil a month ahead of schedule.
We've done it. We have first oil.
Bravo. Premier Brian Tobin says it's the start of an oil and gas industry for the province.
Let's close one chapter in the history of Newfoundland and Labrador, and let's open together a brand new and exciting one for our province.
This was the scene on the Hibernia platform today. The $5.8 billion project finally starting to make money. Oil will be shipped to the northeastern United States by early next year. It's a good day on the platform.
We're now producing oil. Cheers!
The oil field was discovered 18 years ago. Here's how they're finally going to get the oil out. Perforating guns were lowered into the well and fired. That allows the oil to enter the well and flow up to the platform. And now they think they can recover at least 100 million more barrels of oil than first estimated. Newfoundland only gets about 10 million a year in revenues over the next few years. But then, Brian Tobin says things will look up.
I believe that Newfoundland and Labrador will enter the next millennium, the next decade, the year 2000, very much a province that is showing significant and strong growth, and will come out of the next decade very close to being a half province of Canada.
Tonight, Newfoundland's fledgling offshore sector is celebrating.
I think it's just a great day for a new industry.
I think it's a big thing for Newfoundland, and I think it's exciting.
It's a pretty big day. We've had some slowbacks, things like that, but it's finally here. It's a good day. It's a big thing for Newfoundland.
The 1,000 Hibernia workers have another reason to celebrate. They each get at least a $4,000 thank you bonus because the project is ahead of schedule. Deanne Fleet, CBC News, St. John's.
It was quite the time, right?
20 years, and
Wow.
they were rightfully buoyed by it. And of course, we've seen it go up and down and up and down.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had a little keepsake first oil from
Bit of oil?
Hibernia
Really?
in a paperweight, a little droplet.
You still have it?
I have it somewhere at home.
Keep that.
I
Keep
will.
that. Also, a good reminder that some mega projects actually finish ahead of schedule.
Others had become the epicenter of survival.
Local grannies spell help for African grandmothers. Welcome back. Well, this weekend I have the honor of emceeing a Scrabble tournament. Jennifer Whitfield is with the Terra Nova Grannies. I shall show her no mercy. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's wonderful.
And also joining us from Toronto, two guests. We have Ilana Landsberg-Lewis, and she's with the Stephen Lewis Foundation. She co-founded that with her dad. Hello to you.
Hello, Anthony.
And also from Zambia, we have Ida Mbeya. Hello to you.
Hello.
Perhaps I'll start with you, Ilana. For people who don't know about the Grandmothers Campaign, tell us a bit about it.
Sure. The Grandmothers to Grandmothers campaign started in 2006 officially. The Stephen Lewis Foundation exists to support grassroots community-based organizations in sub-Saharan Africa at the front lines of the AIDS pandemic. And we had been hearing from those grassroots organizations that grandmothers had become the epicenter of survival, the linchpin of survival for their families and communities, right at the terrible nadir of HIV and AIDS when there were so many lives being lost, raising millions of orphan children. And we decided to speak to Canadian grandmothers because we felt that if Canadian grandmothers knew what African grandmothers were doing and the courage and tenacity with which they were doing it, they would feel interested.
Right.
But we had no idea how interested they would be, and and it really took off. The Canadian grandmothers are now 10,000 strong, 240 groups across the country, and in the last 10 years they've raised $27 million that has gone straight to hundreds of community groups in 15 countries across sub-Saharan Africa, directly to the grandmothers raising orphan children.
Ida, give me a sense of what the impact of HIV/AIDS has been on grandmothers in Africa.
Well, the impact of HIV and AIDS has been huge on the grandmothers. I think I had a chance to work for the Stephen Lewis Foundation as the field rep, and I've visited about the 15 countries where the Stephen Lewis Foundation actually supports the grandmothers. And I've been to communities where you will find grandmothers who have lost 10 children to AIDS. They have lost 9 children to AIDS and have had to remain and take care of the children. And so the impact has been huge on the children and the grandmothers themselves.
Well, I guess if you have that many children and you have to take care of the grandchildren, it must be quite a burden.
Yes.
And Jennifer, here in St. John's, how does a Scrabble tournament here in the capital, Newfoundland and Labrador, how does this fit into what we're talking about?
Well, the grandmothers here in Newfoundland, we've got a great understanding of what is going on. Although none of us have experienced the HIV/AIDS, we've been able to read about it and try and get a better understanding. And so if we run a Scrabble game and it's a small amount of money, but you multiply that by the donations that are made by 240 groups, it comes out to a very large sum of money.
And Ida, how does some of the money raised by grandmothers here in Newfoundland and Labrador, how does that actually help grandmothers in Africa?
Actually, we are happy that the grandmothers in Newfoundland are actually in this book. And what I can say is that the money goes a long way to do a lot in Africa. One, the money that is raised has to put the orphaned children back in school. It has to help the grandmothers with income generating activities. It also has to bring food on the table. You know, when HIV and AIDS took the generation that was active and having those children and taking care of their own children, those grandmothers that stepped in, they were already done with the work. They were already done with raising their children, and now they stepped in as parents to these children, and so it was not easy. One, they were so traumatized. They had to deal with the trauma of losing so many children and thinking, how am I going to take these children to school? And so the money that's been raised by the grandmothers in Canada has gone on the ground to help with all these social challenges that the grandmothers have faced. And when you go in these communities now, you will find that grandmothers have a smile back. They've even managed to become leaders because the trauma they went through has lessened, and they're able to do something to also actually help the orphaned vulnerable children. So it has done a lot.
Ida and Ilana in Toronto, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Have a wonderful time this weekend at the Scrabble tournament.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And I'll see you at the tournament.
Definitely. It'll be a good game.
Yes, and you will definitely lose that game. These grannies are ruthless when it comes to Scrabble. So,
is that right?
Yeah, I'm the MC, but I have to pry them apart when they start, finding words that don't exist, that kind of thing. So they're tricky.
Very competitive.
They are, but it's a great event.
Not unlike yourself when you play Scrabble.
It's true.
I've heard.
Yeah, but it's going to be a great event. If you're in the St. John's area, you should try to make it. It's at the Lantern just behind the Basilica. Starts on Saturday at 2 p.m., goes to 5, but 3 hours. And even if you can't spell, costs $15. That's the fundraising part. Debbie, it is the best baking. Even if you're awful at Scrabble, come for the Granny's baked goods because they are awesome.
Oh, there you go. Put it on your calendar.
I think more than anything else in the world, he wants to be helpful.
We'll tell you who Alan Doyle is singing the praises of. That's next on Here and Now. Time to introduce our young athlete of the day. This is Adele Ingram from Channel Port-aux-Basques.
Adele's 4 years old and loves playing soccer with the Port-aux-Basques soccer program over the summer. And now, of course, the weather's changed. She's playing hockey on the Port-aux-Basques Blaze team.
Nice. Awesome, Adele. You are today's young athlete of the day.
Beautiful smile.
So here is a shot sent to us by Saffron Bennett.
Beautiful day in St. Paul's for a visit from this beautiful creature.
Wow.
This beautiful owl apparently hang around Mom's backyard all day and just decided to take it all in.
Oh, magnificent. Yeah. Pretty camouflaged, isn't it?
Absolutely. And does that owl not look ready for winter?
Very much so.
Bring it on.
Yeah, all puffed up with those nice feathers.
Definitely. So speaking of winter, we've been watching out west as they've been getting lashed and lashed, and we think, how long does our luck, will our luck go on? Because really, pretty much everybody's had a taste of snow. Even Southern Ontario has had some snow. It's the Maritimes. It's kind of been last to the draw here. Have a look at temperatures across Canada right now. -10 in Fort Mac and Calgary, so another cold shot there. And although we will see a little bit of snow mixing in over the next couple days across the island, still no snow really for central and eastern parts of Newfoundland. Current temps here you can see across the Maritimes. We're back into the double digits in places like Yarmouth, and we even have some double digits into the long range forecast, believe it or not, here across the island. And we'll show you that in just a minute with your 7-day. here's how things will play out. This area of high pressure again will fade off to the north. We've got the rain arriving through tomorrow morning for the southwest. It's snow tonight, Labrador City, couple centimeters possible, rolling into Happy Valley Goose Bay, definitely into the afternoon. And looking at the possibility of some of this freezing rain mixing in for the west coast tomorrow afternoon. Higher elevation snows for Friday night into Saturday for the northwest half of the island, where we could see upwards of 5 to 10 centimeters. Closer to the coast, doesn't look like we're going to see much in the way of accumulation at all. Accumulating snow overnight Friday night and in through Saturday, and forecast models flirting with 10, 15, maybe even 20 centimeters from the Churchill Valley through Happy Valley Goose Bay to the higher elevations of southeastern Labrador. And so keep that in mind. By the time we get to Sunday morning, pretty good shot there. And you can see Saturday evening, I think that rain really starting to taper off, but certainly the possibility of some lingering drizzle for Sunday morning. But in my forecast right now, just some clouds with a little more sun into the afternoon as that low starts to pull away. But it won't be a very long break as our active pattern continues, and through Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening, our next system will approach. So here's a quick snapshot of the next 3 days, and you can see where we are talking about not a bad Friday, unsettled Saturday, a little nicer for Sunday for most of us. And again, keeping an eye on some of those late day rains approaching the southwest coast. A little peek at that forecast model I talked about. Again, I think we're talking about 5 to 10 centimeters again for those higher elevations, especially the long-range mountains, perhaps a little bit more right up through the northern peninsula. And there's that stretch. This is the Euro model, which is actually showing the possibility of some pockets more than 20 centimeters, mainly west of Happy Valley Goose Bay and over the Mealy Mountains, but certainly keeping an eye on that over the next day or so. And again, not a ton of accumulation outside of the higher elevations, but if there is a chance, I think it's towards the Bayvert Peninsula and then certainly in and around the Grossmorn area. Quick look at next week, and this low will move through Sunday night. Monday is going to be a wet start to the week, it appears, with some onshore flurries developing over the west coast into Tuesday. So keep that in mind if you have some travel plans for early next week. We'll watch the possibility of some more onshore flurries and squalls for that neck of the woods. That'll be the Tuesday time period that you see there with your 7-day trend. Wednesday, another little brief warm-up back to the roller coaster ride that is November here, and you can see into Labrador. Pretty quiet through Sunday. That next system may even bring some rain to the southeast, including Happy Valley Goose Bay on Monday. That's your forecast to now.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Now, Debbie, you were off last night because you were the MC for the Big Do, the Humanitarian Awards at the Convention Center, the annual Red Cross Power of Humanity Awards.
And I know you've been the MC for this event as well a couple of years ago. And last night, I mean, it really was inspiring.
Yeah. You were great, by the way. I rushed there right after the show just to see you. I tried to heckle, never managed to get it in there.
I ignored you.
You did a good job.
So anyway, there were nearly 500 people there last night, and they were there to recognize 2 humanitarians.
Right.
Have a look.
I now invite Jason Harnum to help present our Young Humanitarian Award.
University student Patrick Hickey was this year's Young Humanitarian for his contributions to addressing youth mental health, among other things.
Right. And also a well-known orthopedic surgeon, Andrew Fury. Of course, he's been on Here and Now and a lot of CBC programs. He was the Humanitarian of the Year for his tireless work with Team Broken Earth in Haiti. Of course, they've started to go on to other countries as well. Andrew Fury started the volunteer group back in 2010, right after that horrific earthquake in Haiti, and he's been there more than 20 times, not only using his surgical skills, but also training and educating local medical professionals as well. Busy guy.
Busy guy, both of them. So impressive. And Patrick Hickey, I believe he's still 19 until next week.
Yeah.
Remarkable. You'll be hearing more about him.
No doubt.
Well, today is World Pancreatic Cancer Day. Pancreatic cancer is the 4th leading cause of cancer-related deaths in our country. Yet survival rates have remained unchanged for decades. Now there is a growing international campaign to try to change that, a campaign that has reached this province. Purple lights are showing up in store windows in downtown St. John's, part of the Purple Lights campaign worldwide to draw attention to the silent killer. There are no early detection methods for pancreatic cancer, and treatment options are limited. The campaign was recognized this week at City Hall.
When the symptoms of this cancer presents itself, it has usually spread to other organs, resulting in a 74% death rate in the first year and a 93% death rate within 5 years of diagnosis. And whereas pancreatic cancer is under-recognized and is reported as seriously underfunded, receiving 2% of research and charitable funding.
People who have been touched personally by pancreatic cancer were on hand for the proclamation. Grace Crane's husband died of the cancer.
We need well-funded research, and that's the key, well-funded research. We're really hoping that awareness of this disease will spread. We're hoping that people will become aware of what the signs and symptoms are of pancreatic cancer. They can be confused with so many things, and so often it's ignored until it's too late.
I am an actual pancreatic cancer survivor, almost 5 years now, and I just want to be sure that I continue that way and that other people can be in the same place and same situation that I am, with early diagnosis, with warning signs, doctors' knowledge of the different symptoms that other people besides me can also be.
And you can find out about the symptoms and a whole lot more by going to Pancreatic Cancer Canada's website.
A decision from WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, is casting doubt on whether Russia will be allowed to take part in the upcoming Winter Olympic Games.
Agreed a roadmap for compliance for the Russian anti-doping agency has been fulfilled in many ways, but there are still two issues which remain unfulfilled. And on that basis, the situation of compliance was renewed, that the RUSADA is still non-compliant.
Now, WADA is demanding some action on those two things you just heard about. Russia must publicly accept results of an investigation that concluded it ran a state-sponsored doping program, and it also has to turn over urine samples that were collected at the time when the cheating happened. Russia denies that there was a state-sponsored program. The International Olympic Committee will have the final say next month on whether Russia will compete at the Winter Games in South Korea.
Canadians who serve on jury duty are often required to hear details of horrific crimes and look at photos of bloody scenes and dead bodies. It can have a devastating effect. Jury duty comes with little compensation and few supports. Some members of Parliament are working to change that. Kathleen Harris has more from Ottawa.
On the images, it can be incredibly life-altering.
Mark Ferrand says he was left to fend for himself, diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder after serving on the jury in a brutal Toronto murder trial.
They've just sort of been forgotten about.
Serving on a jury is a civic duty, but it can often take a heavy toll on financial and mental health. Jurors sit through trials for several weeks, months, even years. They see disturbing photos and hear gruesome details. Some say the experience can be life-altering, yet they're left to fend for themselves once the trial is over, without counseling or mental health supports. On Monday, MPs on the Justice Committee will begin the first parliamentary hearings on the issue. NDP MP Alistair McGregor pushed for the study. He says there's been much attention on military members and first responders and how they suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, but very little research on how disturbing evidence and hearing that can affect a juror's mental health. Some provinces have already launched counseling and support programs, but MPs say much more needs to be done.
They feel that they've gone through incredible trauma, and the support has ended the moment they left the courthouse and were released from duty.
Starting next week, they will hear from mental health experts and past jurors, and they'll recommend ways to better support those who do their civic duty.
I think if we are going to be building confidence in our justice system, this is another way to say to potential jurors that we will support you the whole way through.
Kathleen Harris, CBC News, Ottawa.
Murderer and cult leader Charles Manson is in hospital, and the American media outlets are quoting sources as saying that his health is getting worse. California prison officials are saying nothing on the record about the 83-year-old's condition. Manson is serving a life sentence for directing his followers to carry out 7 gruesome murders in Los Angeles in 1969. It was a killing rampage that prosecutors say was intended to ignite a race war.
Well, our beautiful viewer picture of the day. This is Interesting location for sure, and one that I think we'll say is in eastern parts of Newfoundland. You can see the Trans-Canada Highway label there on the left-hand side of the screen. Bit of a giveaway, so it's close to the TCH.
I was looking at the picture.
Yeah.
I thought it was Corner Brook.
I thought it was Rennie's River.
Yeah, that's all the clues I'm giving you.
Here's something you may not expect to see at the orchestra.
Whole bunch of puppies, some as young as 11 weeks, and this was the scene at the Calgary Philharmonic Orchestra on Wednesday.
But these puppies aren't just there for pleasure. They are hard at work training to become certified assistance dogs.
And their trainers say the excitement of the orchestra helps expose them to loud noises and diverse social environments, which helps them become steady future companions for their partners. And that's quite something. We're going to have to get Carolyn Stokes sent there to interview those dogs.
Yeah, she did a great job on that story last night.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, we talk a lot about texting and not being unsafe on the roads. Well, you got to get a load of this. This is a driver who's taking hands-free a little too far.
Police in Vancouver tweeted out this picture of a motorist who was caught with both a phone and a tablet strapped to his steering wheel.
Isn't that incredible? But you know what's really considerate? If you look at those ties that he's using there, those plastic ties, those are the exact same things police use as handcuffs.
Yeah.
So at least they came prepared for what was going to happen. Apparently, you can get a fine for, he was ticketed one for not being able to produce his license because, of course, there was so much gear there. That fine's $81. But even more, and even harder on the wallet, another driver was caught playing Pokemon Go behind the wheel.
That fine was a $368 one.
Bigger bite.
They need but that's not enough, obviously.
Yeah.
Some crazy things you see on the roads. My dad, who traveled in the GTA on the 400 series highways, so the craziest thing he ever saw was a woman eating a salad. A salad, not even like a sandwich or an apple, like a salad. Anyway, people reading. We've heard lots of crazy stories. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Our viewer picture of the day. Any guesses?
Collinette.
That's a good one. It's extreme eastern Newfoundland, though.
Okay.
I don't know. There's so many beautiful places.
Yeah, well, this has been a while since we've actually zoomed right into St. John's, and this comes from Bowering Park.
Oh, too easy.
Yes.
I said Rennie's River, so I wasn't far off.
You were close. So Waterford River Trail in Bowering Park. Ray Stanford, thanks so much for sharing with us. A great shot.
Pretty one.
It's a beautiful park to meander through. Thanks again.
Yeah, and at least the water's not frozen yet. Little ice crystals, no ice crystals yet, so it's coming though.
Soon enough.
That's our program, everyone. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.